This is unprecedented. I'm Adam Klein, winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X. Get ready to shout through your confessionals all season long. It's Survivor Talk with D&D.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 319th episode of Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwayne. I'm here with David, and we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. We are joined tonight by the longtime Survivor Talk favorite, Kelley Wentworth. Hello, Kelley.
Hi, guys. It's been a while. I'm glad to be back.
I know. It feels like, well, we had you on that Stranger Things thing, and you were like, I don't know what y'all are talking about, because we were talking about all the 80s stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember that. You were like, can I please go back to the other room? Yeah, I remember that. So,
okay. I haven't been on to talk Survivor in a while.
I know. It's felt like it's been forever. I think it probably has. So, well, we're glad to have you. So we're glad to have you back. Thank you for coming on. We have 3 episodes left, and you are one of the last 3 to be on the show.
That's so crazy.
I know, isn't it, though? But
yeah.
Hey, but thanks to our patrons, in all seriousness, thanks to our patrons, I get to keep it on iTunes, and I get to keep the website up.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
Yeah, so all that's going to still be there. Yeah.
Forever be remembered.
That's right. If people are like me, when I first discovered Survivor podcast, I went and found a podcast and went back season after season, just enjoyed listening to it. So anyway. But as we close out our weekly podcasting, as we hang up our hats, we have Cass McQuillan next week, and then Steve Helling and Andy Baker for our final episode, and that'll be fun. But tonight we are discussing episode 12 of Survivor, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, Not Gonna Roll Over and Die. And David, you're my co-host, but I haven't said hi to you yet. How are you doing?
Only feeling slightly left out.
Well,
but
you know,
I knew
Kelly's
what
in the
happened
room.
when Kelley came back, so it's okay.
Kelly's in the room. You might as well not even be here. And then whenever you're talking to her, I might as well not even be here.
That's how I feel, too.
She's always a great guest. This is what I love about Kelley, right? All I got to do is look funny, and she laughs. It's great. She laughs at everything.
Because I laugh at nothing.
Yeah, she laughs at
so this is a good mix. This is going to work out just fine.
We have had a few guests in our past where we have really struggled to get them to even smile, much less talk. So that was not fun. So,
okay.
All right. Well, let's get to Survivor. Well, David, since I've been dominating the opening 5 minutes of the show, do you want to give something, talk about an initial thought or something? You have something you want to say?
I would have liked to have just seen Tribal this week because I loved it. I thought it was great. I love when they take free will and do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And it was basically a tell-all.
Yeah.
You know, like a bad Maury Povich show, whatever, Jerry Springer, whatever it was. Just a tell-all show. And Probst is like just doing what he does best is to shut up and just let the game go and not ask goofy questions about loved ones and everything else, but just sit back and say, I hope y'all are filming this. Yeah. And it went well, and I loved it. I loved how it went. It was a great finish of some horrible gameplay, and it was I could have just watched Tribal. And Lauren said in one of her interviews, she goes, "No, y'all pretty much got all the everything in the edit. You pretty much," which is not true because we know it's much longer. But she said we got all the high points. So I love Tribal. That was one of the better Tribals to finish an episode, I thought.
Yeah, I enjoyed Tribal. How about you, Kelley? Did you enjoy Tribal?
I did like it, but it was also very frustrating, I think, for me because I was just like, shut your mouth. Like, it's just like so stupid. And then Mike threw the shell in the fire. I feel like it was just for drama and not really thinking it through. And I was just kind of like wanted to jump through my TV screen and smack him around. Like, come on, what are you doing? But it was entertaining. It was good.
Like, in fact, I have something to say to Mike's children. If you go to the ocean, don't bother getting him a seashell. Just don't do it. He's not going to keep your seashell. He's going to throw it. He's going to go, I've been waiting 7 years to do this. Poor little kid.
Just crush their dreams.
Yeah. But Daddy.
Then Probst asked, so why did you do it? Because I've been waiting to do it.
Yeah.
No other reason.
Yeah.
I've just been waiting to do it.
Like no strategic reason to do that. Like, I feel like he could have kept that and used that for the future.
I don't think
it's just all very flashy. I didn't really like it that much.
I don't know that he has a strategic bone in his body.
Oh, I know, but I really like Dr. Mike. I think because of that, like something about him, I just want to help him.
You want to help him?
Like, come on.
But that's
come
true
by my
because
side and let me help you.
He's been the luckiest post-merge player this season because he even said it this season after Ben came to him about, do you want to help me make a big move? And he goes, never underestimate Dr. Mike. And then the rest of the line was because someone's always going to keep me in the game. You know, it's nothing that he's done so far except be unchallengeable winner, you know, unstrategic, throwing shells in the fire. I mean, what else has he done to stay in the game other than be that person that everybody wants to keep because he's not a threat?
Yeah.
She gives him the shell, and he doesn't even act like he's going to trust her. He just goes, oh, cool, thanks. And walks off. Hello. She's sitting there going, wow, that's not what I expected. I mean, come on.
Even Mike didn't buy it.
Yeah. Well, I have figured out this. No matter who you are in the game, if you ask Mike if he's willing to work with you and make a big move, it's like a presidential aide going up to Trump and say, hey, you want to write something stupid on Twitter before breakfast? Yes. Right? I mean, Mike's going to, sure, I'll do that. Anyway.
Except for with Ryan. He did tell Ryan no.
That's right. He did do that.
That's where he drew the line.
When he was, when he was first getting duped. When he bought the first lie.
Yeah, exactly.
He was part of the new alliance.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was all cocky then. And then after the fourth, fifth, or sixth time that he got blindsided or duped, then he was like, that's a shell? Yeah. That's an idol? Yeah. You're not going to fool me this time.
Yeah, really.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to dig one up, and production's going to be right there, and he's going, I don't believe you guys. That camera's not even on, is it? That camera's not on. So it's off.
So good.
All right, so seriously, Lauren, she got outplayed, man. She just so got outplayed. And I this is what I wrote on my thing. Chrissy is a bigger threat to Lauren because Lauren already had Ben, right? Ben was in the group. If she votes him out, you lose him. You vote Chrissy out, you still have Ben. So if you vote him out, you're hurting your own alliance. I don't understand why she did that. And then she gave away half her immunity, and she didn't even bring her parchment to tribal. What is her problem? It's like
she had like a really, really big upswing.
Yeah.
Like she was doing so well, and then she just literally crashed and burned.
It's like she had a JP moment.
She did bring the parchment. She did have the extra vote with her, but she went with the lie that she didn't have it to try and gain favor, like she did with the half idol to Mike. So she did have it with her.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, when my first thought at the end of this, when her smile came out of being voted out and she was at, I want to go eat, I was like, you know what? They got the wrong sister. Because as good as Lauren played, as much as she was upfront and honest and blunt and straightforward, she was not sneaky enough. She was not backstabbing enough. She was not willing to cut people's throats and do deceiving things. You know, and that's the difference between somebody that knows more about the game. You know, I just wonder if she, I don't know, it's like one of those natural athletes playing a sport and they get it and they play it really well. But when it comes down to the fine tuning about how far you lead off first base or how, you know, which you got to check the air when you're playing golf for the win, is just the minor stuff she didn't have to me. And I think she's coming back. I'm sure Probst wants her back, but it's almost like she was so many times in this episode. And this is another one of my initial thoughts was Probst called out Lauren for doing different things. Lauren just gives up with the plates, you know. And when the two rocks didn't match with her sister, right away Lauren is not in control of her game. You know, it's so many little comments he made about Lauren this episode. It was kind of like she might be leaving this episode. I still didn't think she was, but it's so many little things that he said about her that just made it feel like her game was falling apart.
Yeah, good observations. I didn't really notice that. But I will say, Lauren, just because all the other secrets are on the table, she was the only one around who saw the idol clue. She didn't even have to tell them.
Nope. Didn't
even have to tell them. She could have turned that over, dug it up, gone on her own way. Like, you don't have to tell everything.
Right.
So I think that started just the downward spiral of
Speaking of that, because I totally agree. To me, that's how she started playing like a community. But I felt like Ben was playing almost Tony-esque in this episode. He was constantly paranoid, but he obviously kept the one secret he needed to keep, which kept him in the game. And as much as I probably would have been upset, like, all of you voted for me? Really? He was still smiling, and he was still cheering, and he was still happy that he was still in the game, even though he's got like 5 or 6 people there that are really going to vote him out again or try to. But he was just – his paranoia this week was like, this is like Tony. This is what kept Tony up late at night. This is what kept Tony running around, sneaking up to the well and looking for all these idols. And I was like, wow, this guy's making a dash for the end. You know, this is interesting for him.
Mm-hmm. But his alliance didn't do a good job of making him feel comfortable either, which is their fault. Right. If he would have felt comfortable, he wouldn't have been sneaking up around like that.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
I also think he failed with Chrissy, though. I mean, you got it. Even the bottom person, we've heard this so much. Yes, I do think.
Great observation, David.
State the obvious, David.
That person at the bottom. Since Mike took 102, Survivor 103 is even the person at the bottom, make them feel like they're important, or at least talk to them. You know, because it's going to come back to bite you. And it did. He missed out on his wife. Because you know she would have picked him if they had made up. If they got back together.
Oh, she didn't want to make up. She had no desire to make up.
She did later on when she found out it might not be her.
Well, okay. All right.
That's just my thought.
All right.
But I think that she had every reason to feel upset the way she was upset. And so in that situation, it was Ben who handled it incorrectly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and he said, every time you get wronged, you do this. When else has she been wrong? Because I thought she'd been on the right side of most of all of her votes.
Well, not the last couple episodes.
Not the last few, yeah.
Right. But I mean, he said she's been like this all the time. And I'm like, but she hasn't been. She just realized she got took by Ben. I mean, this is the first time she realized Ben was working against her.
Yeah, but he observed the way she handled the previous 2 tribal councils and how everybody gets back to camp, and she's very confrontational. Why did you do this? Although, you know, you got to give her props for being willing to go, so can you explain to me why you did that? Mm-hmm. Obviously, no, and yet she'll still ask. Maybe someone's stupid enough to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so she asks, but I think that's what he was referring to. Anytime something's not going your way, you get into this mode. At least she wasn't crying in the shelter. Yeah. You know, at least in fact, I talked about that that first week whenever she did that, about how if she stayed that way, if she let herself get taken out of the game like she did for that brief amount of time, that she's not going to be able to get back. But that she needed to get back up again. And she did. And so now she's fighting hard and she's not giving up. And good for her. Although I tell you what, I wouldn't want to go against her in the real world. Can you imagine? Whew. As a businesswoman, I bet she lays down the law. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting thought, though. That I wonder if that's a tactic that if she continues to interrogate after each tribal, eventually somebody's going to slip up, or somebody's just going to say, you know what, just to shut you up, I'm going to tell you why we did what we did.
Yeah,
you know, and she could get just a little bit of information from one of these people, because they've made a point to show us this every week.
Yeah.
That she's going into interrogation mode and wants to know, you guys did this so well. How did you do it? Why did you do it? Nobody wants to fess up to it.
Well, she's very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't know if you've all noticed that, but she's very aggressive and confident. It does kind of remind me of Boston Rob whenever he was like demanding things from everybody and they were all doing it. You know, and she's just kind of like, with her people, she's very demanding and isn't afraid to be that way.
I'm laughing because I'm picturing the other side when after Chrissy gets done interrogating, Ryan goes, thanks for keeping me here. Anything I can do for you guys, let me know.
Yeah. Is it just me, or have they dug a hole and told Ryan to sit in it every time they do a confessional? No, it's nothing against Ryan. I was looking at him, and his knees are sticking up, and there's sand. Literally, you know, he's literally sitting in a bowl of sand for his interviews.
He's hiding.
Just, one of those.
They do that to you, though. I remember a few times when they were showing me where I would sit during certain confessionals.
Yeah.
I just looked at them like they're crazy. Like, you want me to sit on that thing here?
Yeah.
Oh, literally behind a bush?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And then they would say, now, can you do your hair like this?
Sometimes, not really, but
right.
Sometimes.
And then they did a confessional with Chrissy today where she's like behind 4 trees. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Hi, I'm Chrissy.
Yeah. They try to be creative.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying this season, Kelley? Have you been
I
watching
actually
it?
have been enjoying it. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of mixed reviews, but I've actually liked it, especially recently. Like, I think it's been good.
I've been enjoying it. David, like you made a comment earlier about if they're all like this season. Have you not been enjoying it very much?
No, it just took a while to get going. To me, there was a lot of laid back, obvious votes coming out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, any Survivor is good Survivor. But it's like, I don't know. To me, it's after the merge is where it hit its stride. And it's when people feel threatened, it's gotten really good. And this is, by the way, this has been a horrible season to rank players every week because everybody is turning on everybody. So you have no idea. You really got to watch the previews, and they're always lies too. But no, I've enjoyed this season. I enjoy the people this season. It's funny. I actually like a lot of the people playing. But no, it's really gotten interesting. And I get frustrated when I see gameplay that I would hope that I wouldn't do in the idea of revealing everything that I have. Some of these people are just falling for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, that is frustrating. Yeah. I agree. But I do think it did have a slow start. But I feel like I say that almost every season.
Right.
Like the pre-merge, a little bit slow. Like there's very few seasons where you feel like the whole season start to finish is fantastic. So I really liked it. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's good. And I think the cool thing is that I really thought Lauren would be in the final 3.
I know.
And now it's like the people that are left, I really think it could be anybody. I really do. I don't think there's a clear winner or a clear final 3 or anything like that. So I like that. That's really exciting.
Yeah, because whenever Lauren was still in it, it was like, this is her game to lose. She's doing so well. And, she had one of those unlucky moments where the guy who everybody was voting out. Okay, hold on. Yes, she also played really badly there at the end. But she did have a moment where the person that everybody voted for.
It wasn't like Suri unlucky, okay?
Right, okay.
She did this to herself a little bit.
So, true. I guess the specific thing I was talking about was the person who had the immunity idol voted for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that. That's kind of where I was.
Well, she had an immunity idol, though, Dwayne, that she.
Well, I know. Yeah. Oh, if she had only played it, what a great. If she had only played it.
She didn't even have to play it because all she had to do, and I say this as in hindsight, of course, is if she's confident everyone's voting for Ben, she changes her vote to Chrissy, and then she brings out her extra vote, which she had in her pocket, and votes for Chrissy. It's 2 votes Chrissy, 1 vote Lauren. Yeah. She's still in the game.
Exactly. And I listened to an exit interview today over on Rob's podcast, and she said that she was already too far down the rabbit hole. She had told him she didn't have it, so she didn't want to play it.
What?
It's like, yeah, but it's between you and Ben. Like, you have to play it. At that point, there's no – what do you mean? There's no, like, ooh, I hope nobody knows I have it now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That logic makes no sense.
You're back at Ponderosa, but I kept my word.
Yeah. Like, what? What? That makes no sense.
Yeah. Way to go, Lauren.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny. At Tribal Council, do you watch body language at all? Are you able to look peripherally and see body language? Because if you watch that chaos that happened, the one person that never moves is Ben. He's sitting right in the middle, like the cat with the canary in his mouth, and he's just grinning. He's pointing things out. He's just looking from side to side. And to me, I would think that if I'm looking at him and he and I are against each other, he looks awfully confident. He looks awfully carefree about this. Like he's not worried at all. And something tells me I should be very worried.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on that. The only thing I will say is that once you're 30 plus days into Survivor, honestly, like your mind is not working correctly. Like you're not having complete thoughts. You're not thinking everything through the way you would if you're watching on television or the way you would maybe day 10 into it. Like I can attest, like there were some nights in confessional, I didn't even know what I was saying. Like the things I was saying didn't even make sense. I'd have to say it again. Like it's just not coming out correctly. So
the production not spell it out very well when they put the script in front of you, or was it
just only sometimes?
Well, I was going to ask David. I don't remember what I was going to ask you, David. So,
well, I can tell you this. Speaking of production, I got to say they really dropped the marble with that reward challenge. Yes. Oh my gosh! Really?
What,
I'm with
Ashley.
Like Ashley said, "That's it. We're just drawing marbles out of a bag." I am a physical beast. I can do anything. Let me challenge for time with my dad.
I actually have. Go ahead.
I feel like somebody was hungover. Like, I had too many beers last night. Just bring out the rocks. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, I'm going back to my bungalow for a nap. Like, I can't. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they like walked out there and they were like, well, there's these 2 logs here. Do you want to use those? We can just let them sit on them.
Yeah. Exactly.
We had this conversation at work that they walked out there and Probst goes, "You guys are going to be tied together with one foot. You're going to have to run around these flags." And Lauren's sister's like, "I can't do that. I cannot do that."
Yeah.
And then they're asking somebody else, and somebody else's spouse, "I'm not doing that. He can do it by himself." All right, can we do something with like just bags or something? Just draw marbles.
I actually have something queued up for this, David.
Oh, good.
I do. I thought it was going to be much later in the show. This may be the world's shortest episode we've ever done. So,
I have much more to say. It's not over.
Good. Oh, good.
Oh, no, the reward challenge was very early, so we're early.
All right. Now that we are closing out our weekly show, David, I thought I would try out to be a CBS Survivor music production person. Mm-hmm. All right. So, bear with me here. All right. I am now Jeff Probst. Come on in. Hold on. That is so freaking loud.
He is never that quiet.
Wow.
What's going on?
I am Jeff Probst. I am auditioning for the producer thing. Come on in. We've been out here for 29 days. You are hot, sweaty, tired, drained, smelly, have soiled clothing. Now it's time for a challenge like none other. We have gone all out with another brand new Survivor challenge. We even bought new buff bags. This challenge is all about staying in sync, but not with each other. Can you stay in sync with your... Come on, music, hurry up. Hurry up, music. Loved one? That's right. You get to see your loved one. All right, now, so we cut to David. David and Terry are on the island, all right? Mm-hmm. David and Terry are on the island. And Probst says to David, "So, David, you've been out here for 29 days. No one to trust. No one who will truly love to snuggle with you at night. Seeing someone you can actually trust, does it make you reconsider your life?"
It does. It makes me want to go home and just retire from my work, which I can't do at this time, and just be a stay-at-home husband. Just support her as much as I can.
Do you think maybe you should never leave your mother at all and always be around her at all times?
My mother can do fine without me, but my wife, yes, I would love to stick with my wife.
All right, hold on. Now, Kelley Wentworth. So this is still Probst. Kelley Wentworth. I have no idea who you might want to see for your family visit. Maybe someone who cost you the game the last time you played. Who do you want to see? Dale, come on in. Run, Dale. Run. Run, Kelley, run. Now hug. Yes, that's right. Now give your daughter a hug. It's Survivor. It's Survivor. There you go. That's my family visit. Making fun of family visits.
Probst has got nothing to worry about. So.
Oh my God.
I'm afraid.
Can they be any more melodramatic on the family visit? What did you think
about the family reward, Dwayne?
Well, okay, the 10 minutes they took to introduce everybody, and then Chrissy doing unmentionable things on camera with her husband was
there were a lot of leg squeezes.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of wraparounds there.
Yeah. I think he might have even gone a little too far around when he hugged her, but they spent a long time on that, and I don't know how many musical cues we had to hear during that. Some big ones and some tender moments and things like that. So I understand, Kelley, you've been out there, so that's a pretty big moment, but you don't need all those musical cues for it to be amazing, do you?
No, you don't. I don't even think was the loved one visit on my season that long? Maybe it was.
I don't know. They just spent a long time. And then he asked some seriously ridiculous questions.
It felt so long. Yeah.
It's like Devin's like, I can't even think straight, but my mom's here, so I don't think I should ever leave her again. And his mom's going, yeah, you should. No. She's
like, I want to get to my yoga class. Can we get this over with?
Yeah, really. She's like, I didn't even realize you were on Survivor.
Yeah, since you brought up my wife, Terry, if we drew different color rocks, she'd be looking at production going, can I go back to the hotel now? Because obviously I'm not going to be doing anything else.
Yeah, really. She'd be like, there's a bug over there. I'd like to get away from it. Yes. Yeah. Well, no, okay. So as far as the actual challenge, I think it's a little ridiculous. It's not a challenge. And he had the gall to say something we've never done before or a brand new challenge. And he tried to talk it up. You know, how well can you be in sync with each other? What he should have said was, how well can you randomly select rocks? Should have had Jessica on tonight's show.
Oh, sad. It was pretty pathetic.
I mean,
I really do think. I don't know if the people do the challenge went on strike for a day, or like I said, they were just partying too hard or what. But that was really sad.
Yeah. Do you think, like, how disappointed would you have been as a player?
I would have been disappointed, but I feel like I actually would have felt worse for the loved ones, because I know when my dad traveled over to see me, between the travel and how long they were there, it was less than like 2 days or something.
Yeah.
Like they literally were on a plane all day. They got to see us for maybe 3 hours. Then they were immediately sent home. Like that's just awful. Like you go out there, you can't even at least try to compete. All you do is pick a random ball out of a bag and then it's like, bye, see you later.
Right.
Stupid. I feel like the real win in this situation was Joe, because he got to see his sister regardless.
Right. Yeah, which is crazy. Since when did they start allowing that to happen?
Don't you know they make up their own rules, obviously.
Well, Joe must have something for them to do that. He must have something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was pretty. Yeah. That was pretty cool. In fact, since you mentioned Joe at Ponderosa, I already liked him anyway because he's so out there and he's so blunt, and that watching him at Ponderosa made me like him even more. And I really hope he gets to play again. But I have a production manipulation comment to make about the winner and how many choices they get. Because last time when we sent the 4 on reward, they formed the 4 and made this game good. They started blindsiding their own alliance of 7, and they really broke things up. It made it really interesting. We got the Spygate out of it. You know, we got Devin and Lauren coming up with these ideas. But for this challenge, I just wonder. I have no proof, no thoughts on it. I don't know anybody writing production like Kelley does, but I just wonder, whoever wins this challenge, they're probably going to pick their alliance, whether it be the small alliance or the big alliance. But we need to stop with the guest so long as we leave someone from a different alliance with the other group.
Yeah, really.
So if Lauren had won, she's picking Devin, she's picking Ashley. That's it. Mm-hmm. All right. So Ben is stuck with Mike, Ryan, and Chrissy. So if Ryan wins, he picks Chrissy, he picks Mike. Why don't you take one more? Take one of those 4 that's in that foursome. But I don't know. I could easily see Probst saying that Ashley only gets 2. She has to leave one of her 4 with the others. You're not just taking your fabulous 4 away again and going off on this barbecue. I think that was a contingency plan that was in place. What do y'all think?
I don't ever think CBS. I think they always do that kind of stuff.
You're so gullible.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think it was probably always going to be that number, but I don't know. You have a good point. I don't know.
It's 2. I had 2. Okay, good. Dwayne 0.
I was surprised she didn't call. I was surprised she didn't do Ben. I did kind of feel like Like, what if she had called him or allowed him to be on the reward and then mended that fence and used him again? You know, I mean,
because she's not that type of player, clearly.
Yeah. Well, I know that's what I'm
she
saying,
is
though.
Emotional, which is why I think I don't know. I don't even think if Chrissy's in the end, she could win.
Yeah. Well,
because I don't think she caters to other people's feelings. I think she's too into her own and what she's feeling.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. I think Ben has the ability to erase the board every morning and start over. And I don't think Chrissy can or wants to.
Yeah.
And I agree that I think Chrissy would have a hard time at the end from the way she's talked to people and dealt with people. But like Ben, later on in the episode, Ben's like, if I offended you, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, we can roll back the tape. If you
but that's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's all it takes sometimes. Just like in normal life. Like if you mess something up, literally all someone wants to hear is an apology.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
People just want to feel heard. People want to feel like you care. So if like Chrissy, if you have that just bulldog mentality, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think Ben could have easily, sorry, Dwayne. I think Ben could have corrected himself at the start of the episode when telling her, look, they made me an offer I couldn't pass up. I had to go with it, but you're still here. I made sure you didn't go. And I think she says, all right, well, tell me next time, but thank you for keeping me here.
Well, except she doesn't say that.
We didn't give her the chance because he just flat out said, Joe went home. That's all there is to it. I ain't going to tell you nothing. Oh, well.
But it's just like what Kelley said whenever I said, why didn't she get Ben? And Kelly's right. That's not the kind of player she is. And I think even if Ben had done everything right, she still would have been talk to the hand.
I think so too.
You know? So
very closed off.
So what do you think about Chrissy and her overall game and where she is now and where she came from and stuff, Kelley?
I've never really been a Chrissy fan. I don't know what it is. I just can't connect with her. I don't know. I don't really like her style of gameplay, I guess. I mean, I think she's good, but just even the little things of like the whispering so loudly and like sometimes I just don't think she's like, I know she's smart, but just some of the things she does, I don't think in a social setting is the right thing to do.
Right.
So, I mean, she's fine. I think she's played fine and she has gotten herself out of some sticky situations, but she's not my favorite.
That's kind of one of the things David and I talked about how she almost plays too confident. She's almost she's overconfident. I mean, being willing to whisper so loud everybody can hear when the person you're whispering to is going, please stop doing this. You know?
Yeah.
So
I think it's a control thing. She's used to being in control in her life, and when she's not in control in the game, she's ready to fight back. And it's funny because she comes out, like you've been saying, on the offensive the next night after travel, whereas Ryan pulls back. You know, he's willing to. To me, he sits back and looks at everything, and watches and sees where he can do a shoulder pat or just a wave or something. Where she jumps right into the fray and wants to know what happened and why it happened because she wasn't a part of it.
Right.
And she was my pick at the beginning because I thought she was super smart. She seemed very sociable, but it's that, I don't know. It's like Dwayne said, it's that confidence. She's always been, even she said it last week, she got a little teary-eyed about, I've never been so out of control. You know, I've never not had this much control before. And it scares her, I'm sure, you know, especially when it's to win this game. As much as she loves Survivor, the chance of winning is floating down the river because she's not in control.
Right. She does have white teeth though.
Very.
I mean,
but the thing with confidence is you can be confident and like in an appealing way to people, or you can be confident in an annoying way to people.
Yes.
It's about how you portray yourself. And I feel like she's the latter. Like she's annoying to people. She's not like people don't respect it.
Right.
I don't know,
it's almost obnoxious and almost condescending to everybody. Really? You think you can be this confident around us? I mean, anyway, did you play with anything like that at all? Did you notice that with anybody or?
Besides Rocker.
I didn't really play with him that much.
I know.
That sounded weird. Sorry. Anyway,
he wasn't one of your bunk mates.
I guess the only person I could say maybe slightly would be like Spencer, but not in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As Chrissy. But if I had to say anyone, probably him, but well, no one really liked her.
Vader Girl in the chat room, she said, does she remind Kelley of Missy from Blood versus Water?
Yes, I've already said that. I had a dinner with one of my friends the other night, and I did say that.
Oh, yeah, well, Vader Girl, why are you saying that if you already knew the answer?
No, why would she know?
Oh, I thought you meant like you did it on the air. Like you said something.
No.
Oh,
no,
sorry, Vader Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty crazy. So.
A little bit, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Since we're still at the reward and talking about the extra pick, Chrissy chose. I would have loved to see her choose Ben, but like the edit showed us, she was still in vindictive mode. She was not going to. But choosing Ashley to break away, is that an effect? Well, I mean, who could she have chosen? Because Ashley and Devin are obviously a tight pair, but Ashley, it's funny because the story we're getting about Ashley is I need to make a big move for my resume because all the moves she's been a part of, she's only been in the group that's made the move. She hasn't really ignited the move or made the move, but she keeps talking about this. But that's all we're getting is her talking about making moves. So, what do you think? I really think she's a GOAT in the final three. I think Joe was right.
She's for sure that player. Like, there's always one who talks about it, wants to do it, and then it's like too late. Like, it's too late. I don't even think if she made a move now, I feel like someone else would be credited with it. Yeah. Because I don't think she's seen as a player. Like, it's too late. Like, it's just like she should have done something sooner.
Yeah.
And even if Ben had gone home, like, I wouldn't say that was Ashley's move.
No.
You know? Like, so.
No. Yeah, not at all.
Like, yeah.
So if, what was the point? The funny thing I got from, and like I said, we were talking about this at work. I said, one thing you can tell from the edit to me is who talks at the barbecue and who talks about who. If you're getting talked about, to me, you're not as much of a factor as you think you are. And Chrissy and Ryan talked about Ashley. And we didn't get a lot of Ashley except to say, of course, she's going to talk to me about this. And maybe I do need to do that. But it's almost going to be like she's at the final three and they're going to ask Ashley, what did you do? Well, I thought about making a lot of big moves. I had so many big moves I wanted to make, and then everybody else made them. So, but I'm still here. And I think, and she could probably win the final couple of immunities if they're endurance. You know, she's already won 2. So she could immune her way all the way to the end. But if she doesn't do anything, I don't think they're going to respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see any scenario where she wins.
So
maybe she's at the end with Mike and Ryan? Like, I really don't know.
I think they'd give it to Mike. They just said it's amazing he got that far and did that well and survived. Mike's a nut, and he keeps falling into the right hole.
Well,
he's not jumping in it; he's just tripping into the right hole.
Yeah, I mean, they might give it to him for the very fact that he got up and threw a shell in the fire, of all things, and Ashley didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Hey, it was a move.
Yeah, I mean, he got up and moved.
Still move.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say, I made moves in this game. They were stupid, but I made moves in this game.
I tried.
I like Mike, but I just feel bad every time after a tribal he comes back going, gosh, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like every week for the past month.
But see, can you really say much about Ryan's game either? He's just been with Chrissy, you know?
I agree. I felt like Ryan, I thought he was very strong more towards the beginning of the game. Even just in confessionals and what we were shown of him from producers, I thought he was very strong. But then, now I feel like he's just, like, this past episode, we didn't even really see him that much. Like, we didn't even...
Yeah.
He was just kind of there.
Well, he's been having everything was blindsided by me, and that's just kind of the way it is. And then stuff works out better because of Chrissy. So, I mean, him saving her in episode 1 was the best move he made in his whole game. And after that, he's just following her the whole time.
Yeah, agreed.
So, which means she's bringing him along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's kind of fallen off the face of the edit. But I always backtrack into what ifs. And what if he hadn't told Ben? What if he'd only told Devin about that idol and Devin secretly brought him into the 4? And constantly protected him and constantly worked with him? He might still have that idol, but I just wonder about that. But then that makes me think Ryan went to Ben. Is Ben seen as this big, strong? He obviously seen as a big, strong player, but at that time, he saw something in Ben that he wanted to join confidence with. He wanted to have a relationship with Ben.
Yeah, because that's when Ben was seen as the leader of the group.
Right.
King Arthur. I feel like you want to attach to anybody who's at the top because you don't want to go home. So you're just hoping that you can attach to them for as long as you need to and then get rid of them at some point.
Yeah.
Do you think Lauren jumped too soon? Or Lauren and Ashley, I say Lauren, but Ashley wants the credit of trying to go after Ben?
I don't think so, but I don't think they were necessarily smart at tribal council. Like, I don't think the way they handled it was that good, basically ganging up on Ben and telling him, well, you're too paranoid and, like, we're voting for you. Like, I feel like it could have been handled differently. Like, I guess my approach is always try and do things without people knowing because of an idol, because of just, those relationships you have to continue on with. Like, now he's there. Like,
right.
Now people are going to have to work with him. Like, it's just not so simple as to just gang up on somebody and be like, I'm voting for you. Like, clearly it didn't work out for them.
Right. And the reason why they feel like they can do that is because of confidence. They have too much confidence, and it ended up biting them in the butt. Mm-hmm. He had an idol, but because they were so open with everything, he's sitting up there going, fine, go ahead, vote for me. I'm going to play my idol.
Yeah, exactly.
If they had been a little more discreet about it, as you're saying, kind of played the game he played on Chrissy and Ryan and them and turned it around and played it on him, he wouldn't have played his idol maybe.
Yeah, they still could have told him, hey, we're going to vote for Chrissy tonight. And they all could have said, like, hey, Ben, like, we're still with you. Also, why did Devin not mention Ben when he said, I would do any, like, that was stupid too. Like, they just literally kicked him to the curb. Like,
he did.
It's like, you don't do that. You can't do that.
That's where that's where I come back with the excuses. And if I'm Devin, of course, this is me sitting at home with chips and a drink, and Devin's out there starving with little brain power. But all I'm thinking was, Devin probably said Lauren or Ashley because Ben was already out of the challenge. Ben was the first one out of the challenge. So he's looking, there's Lauren, there's Mike, and there's Ashley. Mike goes, well, as long as it's one of us three, we're good to go. But he didn't come back with that, and Ben was right to jump on it. If you see an opening, jump on it.
But he was talking about whenever it was just him and Ashley.
Well, he said him, Ashley, or Lauren.
I know that, but
he said I would do that for anyone in my alliance, whether it be Ashley or Lauren.
That's right. Yeah. That's what he said.
Not include Ben.
And I sat there.
So that's the problem. That's when Ben said, oh, I thought I was a part of that alliance.
Yes,
like, why would you just continue to make Ben feel comfortable? And if you want to blindside him, you blindside him. But don't make him feel like crap and know that he's going to go home.
Exactly. Which is what you're saying. It happened the entire tribal council.
Yeah.
That they did that.
Exactly.
And they didn't have to do that.
Not smart.
And this season is good in the fact that, to me, that it keeps flipping. Whereas I thought Devin was like the star last week in the double episode. I thought he had a kind of a bad week this week. And a lot of his thoughts and plans and the fact that Ben walks up and nobody can come up with a line to get him into the conversation except to look at each other strangely like, we got to not be talking about him like that.
But I mean, okay. Yeah. If anything, you go, we're glad you're here. We were just talking about how they're trying to vote you out.
Yeah,
or something.
Exactly.
But first of all, you got to have somebody looking at the trail, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the three of them shouldn't have gone off anyway without him. Like, I'm sorry. Then you need to. I don't know. I just thought it was bad all the way around. Like, two of you go off, and then the other person tells the other person. Like, as long as you're all on the same page, but to exclude one person is, of course, going to be a problem.
Okay, so is that the confidence issue, or was that just bad gameplay?
I think it's just bad gameplay.
Just bad gameplay. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I feel like Devin and Ashley can go off and say, okay, we're going to get rid of Ben. And then, at that time, Lauren could still be with Ben talking stuff. And then maybe Ashley goes off with Lauren separately and says, okay, we're doing Ben. And then they have their own little plan. But Ben never feels excluded. Ben never feels like, I have to play my idol. Ben never feels paranoia and starts this whole, this out of control ripple effect.
Right.
That's a great strategic point in that if you're in a group, whether the number's 4 or 5 or 6, try never to be speaking to each other without one, because that one is going to be totally suspect. So if you're right, if they had walked off 2 and 2 and then they split up and said, hey, you go talk to Ben now and make sure he feels good, because to me, what I want to hear is my alliance making me feel safe. And like you just said, they should have told Ben, they're hitting us like crazy. They want to come. They want us to flip on you. This is nuts. Who do we want to get out? We want to get out their strongest player, this, that, and the other. But all three of them just stood there like we've been caught.
They're playing
like, these people are idiots.
They're playing like they've never played Survivor before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lauren's like, I don't know what to say. And Ashley's like, don't y'all have something to say? And Devin's like, me?
He's like, I'm just happy. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But you know what?
My mom said anybody in my presence should be lucky. So that's it.
Yeah, really. That's what my mama said. Hey, my mama said that about me. And I'm good boy. I sit up nice and straight.
Stop it.
Every single tribal council. You know, so you know, Kelley, you say it's bad gameplay, and I agree with you, but I still feel like their cockiness and their overconfidence, which is bad gameplay in itself, is part of the reason why they feel like they can go off in 3. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's like this whole season is full of overconfidence.
Yeah.
The whole season is. It's like Survivor overconfidence. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Point for House Stroud. So, since we're beating around the bush on Ben, let's talk about Ben for a second. I wrote a note that even Joe in the jury is reminding us how strong Ben is. Because we're getting, since I've watched every season, but now that we've been podcasting all these years, I start to listen to every little thing that's said. You know, try to pick up on little clues and edits and stuff. And we are constantly being reminded that Ben's going to win at the end. So what I really don't want to see is Ben at the end.
Well,
because the final vote's going to be useless.
Well, okay.
So
go ahead.
No, I just wrote down that Ben can't win because we're being reminded that he's going to beat anybody he plays. So either if he goes, it's going to be a major upset, or it's going to be a boring final.
Okay, so the only 2 people who can win are Ben and Chrissy, unless they're both out of it.
I don't think Chrissy.
I don't think Chrissy could win. Why don't you think Devin could win?
Well,
no, I think Devin could win after Ben. Devin's, to me, my first choice after Ben.
I think Ben and Devin are the only 2 who could win.
It's because I forgot to write Devin's name down.
Oh, so. How dare you?
I know. Stupid me.
So if it's Ashley, Mike, and
carry
Ryan,
on. I'm having a bad night.
I think Mike actually wins in an upset. Because Joe's going to vote for Mike, and he's going to push everybody to vote for Mike, I would think.
Yeah.
Because Ashley hasn't done anything, and Ryan's been in the back of camp, not in the front of camp. So I don't know. I think Ben is first. I like Devin to do well. If Ben goes, it's Devin's game to lose, I think. So I think he's had his hands on enough moves. He's what you said about being confident but pleasant to be around. Mm-hmm. He's one of those people. He's not like confident and aggressive. He's confident and passive. Yeah. He makes you feel very comfortable when he's talking to you. And he's always talking. He's almost doing the Kim Spradlin thing where he's letting other people mention the names and have the ideas until he came up with the Spygate. But otherwise, he's been very receptive to people's conversations. He's just been smiling about it, and people want to talk to him.
Right.
You know, that's such a big compliment to me to watch somebody getting spoken to by everybody, and they're sharing information.
Yeah.
Well, and what I like about Devin, too, is that he's the player that tells you what he's thinking in confessional, so you know he's not just sitting there not doing anything, but then when he's in front of other people, he's downplaying how good he is, which is very smart.
Yeah.
So I like that about him.
He's picking up so much information. To me, that's his resume. Well, I knew about this, I knew about this, and I was part of this. So, yeah.
I wonder if his reaction, whenever people tell him something, he always has this, whoa, reaction. Mm-hmm. Like, you just told me the smartest thing I've ever heard. I wonder if that's all part of his game.
That's a good point because, he's got that whole Surfer Surprise thing going on. Like, wow, I had no idea. I never thought on that level. But I think he is.
I think it's very smart. Like, just some of the confessionals we've seen, I feel like he's had a lot of good strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made mistakes too. There's nobody perfect this season. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I applaud him getting up, though. I like that he got up and went and approached Ryan and Mike and tried to start that conversation. And that went so back and forth that
I know.
They were good about voting Lauren, and all of a sudden they all vote Ben. That was either goofy edit or I was horribly confused.
I think goofy edit. That had to have gone on for a while.
Yeah.
Dwayne, what are you thinking over there?
I'm thinking I'm not having a good night.
Why?
Because I write everybody's name down but Devin. So then I make a stupid comment about Chrissy and Ben being the only. When if Devin's name was down here, I'd be like, well, yeah, of course Devin can win this thing. So I'm just. You know what? 3 episodes left. That's it.
You know what? It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay.
I know,
okay.
But anyway.
You're fine.
Okay, so I got another question.
Thank you, David.
So last week, Ben is out reading letters from his wife.
Yes.
And on the way down this trail that we've never seen before, he falls over the idol clue.
Yes.
And then finds the pot with the camera zoomed in on it.
Yeah.
This week, you walked right past it, is what Lauren said, as they're out looking for the idol. And Lauren picks it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Last week was just funky to me in how he found that clue and found that idol to the point of production saying, you know what, there's a patch of grass over here that would be great for us to film you reading those letters. Conspiracy. If you want to follow us to this path, we will bring you back down the path. I'm just making that up, obviously, but last week he found the clue in the idol. This week he almost trips over it and doesn't find it.
Yeah.
And who goes idol hunting as a clan?
Yeah, what's up with Lauren?
You said early on, Lauren said, I found it. Come here, guys. I found it.
Look what I found.
This. Like, oh, gosh.
Just be quiet.
It kills me inside, you guys. Do you know how much it drives me nuts when people do that? Or when Ryan tells people he has the idol, like, I'm just sitting here on the couch, like, wanting to scream.
I mean, I love montages, but not one of somebody telling 6 people they've got an idol.
Yeah, really.
No.
Have I told everybody? Does everybody know now?
Yeah. How about...
Joe's in the water. Let's go tell him.
How about, Kelley, you had to have watched and thought, okay, this is going to be good. They're going to hide this show really well, like they did for me. And 2 inches from her foot. Not only that, but when you're done, just have a seat on your thing, which they never do.
I have been waiting. Okay. My biggest annoyance with this whole thing is exactly what you just said. When do they ever not have a loser's bench where you have to go sit when you're out?
Yep.
There is very rarely, I can't even in my memory think right now of a time when you get out of the challenge and you just get to sit or stand or whatever where you are. There's always a loser's bench that you have to go to. Always. Like, that is so frustrating. And then the shell was the tiniest little thing. I wouldn't have even thought anything if I was there and she just picked it up like, oh, a shell, like I'm bored, just like, kind of touching stuff. Well, there was no writing on it. It wasn't colored. There was nothing that would make you question.
Kelley,
terrible.
It was the only shell. That's the deal. There will be a shell.
How many people got told, don't touch that? Don't touch that. No, they walked past it.
Her note said.
No, because hers was on the end.
Right, but her note said there will be a shell at your feet. At the thing. And she walks up, she gets on the platform, and there's the shell. It's the only thing there, Kelley.
So you're saying it's not like she had to like dig for it or make
it was just right there.
There was no suspense in that.
No, not at all. That's why I was like, you finding that clue or the idol or whatever it was you found, that was great television. This was not. In fact, when it first started, I was like, okay, well, she has to figure out how to get that and make it to the loser's bench. She's going to have to like drop something on accident or something. But no, you just get to sit down. So she just gets to casually grab it and put it in her pocket. To me, that was just,
you mentioned the loser's bench because even Tony Vlachos talked about when they did the doghouse challenge, I guess they call it now, where you're standing on the on the thing. He said you don't want people falling off near you because that's extra waves. And you don't want people swimming past you because it's extra waves. He says you don't want to be closest to props. You want to be as far away as possible so nobody goes past and nobody falls near you. And then for this, that was one of my initial reactions. An idol of 2 parts is good. The second part has to be picked up at a challenge is great. And the second part is the shell at the foot when you get out of the challenge is horrible.
Like she could have stepped on it and torn her foot up. It was that close to her.
But I thought, okay, if there's a loser's bench, like maybe she'll at least have to pretend like falling down or something. I don't know, something that doesn't look like she just like
put it under the loser's bench.
Just sit down. She's like, just sit down.
Yeah, it's crazy they even put it. Why not? Because she found the clue, so she got to be on that platform.
The far one. And the thing too, no one would see her. There was only one person next to her. There wasn't even a stand on the shell side where the shell was. There was no one next to her.
I think
no one would have seen her.
I think you're right, Kelley. I think the whole challenge crew this week was And I'm not joking. I think they must have been like, we're not doing this week or something, because it was sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was sad.
It's one thing to have so many idols, and I a couple weeks ago I loved the episode where Cole and Chrissy were digging in the sand after Ryan got it. That whole episode I thought was great. I loved it. I loved how it played out. But I remember Ryan Kaiser wrote in his blog about so many advantages, so many idols, and he's right about that, about overwhelming the game with so many different things being added to it. But it's almost like we just need to put these in the game as easy as possible. Make it into 2 parts, see who finds it. But put the shell under the loser's bench.
Yeah.
Make her have to get something from there. I love putting a challenge into finding an idol. It's not just pick up an idol and keep playing. You might as well give it to them then.
Yeah. They might as well.
Oh, go ahead, Dwayne.
No, they might as well have just given her the entire idol.
Yeah, it was so dumb. Even in the Game Changer season, when Michaela, the little clue was by her foot. Even that was at least more visible. Like, it was a piece of paper. Like, even that was like better than this.
And someone else got it.
Come on.
Right.
Yes. Oh.
No one could have gotten this shell. No one. Except for her.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't gotten it, Probst would have went, now I really think everybody needs to go back to their platform and just meditate. Just kneel and meditate, preferably towards the right side of the platform. So she'd find it.
The note might as well have just said that the idol will be presented to you at the next challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know what really kind of bothers me too?
What?
And I have this conversation with people, and I don't know why it bothers me so much, but women so rarely find idols. I don't know why that is. It irritates me all the time. And then, Lauren, when you go and find a stinking idol, it's this garbage, and you waste it on top of it. I can't take it. I can't take it.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
She just did. Yeah. She was doing so well, and then her game just fell apart whenever she had to play strategy.
Yeah, the wheels fell off that car. Okay.
Yeah, they really did. And speaking about a lot of idols, they have so many idols now that production doesn't have enough money to make them good looking.
No.
No. It's like a couple of shells with a couple of beads on a strip of leather. I'm surprised Probst even knows if they're real or not. He probably was looking for a CBS logo on it or something.
So what did you think of these advantages and idols early on having limitations? Did you like that, or did you think they should have carried on longer in the game?
No, I like that because I feel like it makes people make decisions.
Yes, force them to do something.
Yeah, I like it. It didn't really. The only one I guess that really worked out was Devin's, which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. When he read it, he's like, oh, it's like, oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like that you have to make a decision or give it to someone else. I did like that.
Okay, but the first one, and I argued this on our first podcast about this show.
Okay.
That was wasted. Ryan's was wasted. It was not wasted. It's still keeping him in the game. That first advantage that he had when he played it on her. True. That advantage is still working.
What's keeping him in the game is the fact that he sleeps behind the shelter and doesn't show up until they have to go to tribal. And they say, "Oh yeah, Ryan's here."
No, he hides behind a bamboo.
Oh, he is so skinny.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that episode where his heart's
when he went to hug his dad? He is too skinny.
His heart beating
dangerously skinny. Yeah, that's gross.
That made me almost sick. Like if he had to have open heart surgery, they just go.
Ew! Stop!
Sorry.
Stop!
Sorry.
Ugh.
Oh, Dwayne was gagging when we talked about it.
It almost made me sick watching that.
Yeah, let's not go back there.
Let us move on. Therefore,
let us move on. Yeah. Gosh.
Who have we not talked of the final group? I think we've covered most everybody and their chances.
Well, let's make sure I have the right final group.
Let's see. We talked about Ben being almost a lock to get the most votes. We talked about Devin. He's the other guy, Dwayne, to get this.
I know.
Who wins between Ben and Devin, do you think?
Yeah, ask Kelley.
Because Ben, Devin, and Lauren would have been a great final three.
I feel like Ben wins in that scenario. Because I just don't think he's, unless people are like bitter towards him and his attitude, but I don't think so. Like, I think people would respect his gameplay.
You're not allowed to be.
What?
I'm sorry. You're not allowed to be bitter and mad at him because he's a veteran.
People still would be.
I know, but that's the story CBS is feeding us this year. You cannot be upset with him. You can't mess with him because he has post-traumatic stress syndrome and he's a veteran. He talks about, they bring it up all the time.
I know all
the time. And I completely respect all of that, but they're using it. You know, everybody was mad at Joe for how he dealt with it, but CBS is doing the same thing Joe was doing. They are using it.
Well, yeah, they always have their own agenda. We know that.
Yeah. So I think if he's in the final 3, he's going to bring that up. You know, I mean, I would. Of
course he is.
I would. I mean, why not? But so I think he beats it. I think he beats everybody because Devin can't say I did this, this, and this because he hasn't been that forward with it. So
I secretly want Devin to win just so he can be the most handsome winner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's very dreamy.
Interesting. And the winner with the best posture.
Does he have good posture?
Have you not?
I haven't noticed.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. You almost got me there. I'm just going to go sit over here for a little while. No. I'll just carry on.
No, stay.
Yeah, we need somebody to push the record button. So yeah, just keep saying.
Oh wait, no, I'm just kidding. We are recording. Wow,
I think Ben just has to say. I think I read. I'm not sure if it was EW or not, but he was that spy for like 6 days. He carried that little thing for 6 days. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that he did that, and it worked for all those people. To me, that's enough to give him my vote right there. If I don't think anybody else has matched that.
But you know what? At least they all tried to get him out. He better be. He's going to have to pull a Mike to win this game because he's going to have to win everything.
I was just going to say that I feel like now the target on him is so big, though. Like I just almost don't know that I see a scenario where he gets to the final 3.
Okay, so if Ben,
I just don't know.
I know. So if Ben and Devin aren't there.
Oh, don't even do that to me.
Hey, Mike, Ryan, and Ashley. We all just turn off the TV.
I like Mike.
I know, but we all just turn off the TV and wait for the Facebook group to tell us who won.
He's going to say, I told y'all not to ever underestimate Dr. Mike. They're going to say, how did you get here? He's going to go, I don't know, but I'm here. I got here.
Somebody asked me if I wanted to trust him, and I said, yeah. And now I'm here. No, but seriously.
I like Dr. Mike, though. I do. I of those 3, I'd be fine with him winning, but I don't think it would be an ideal situation. We'll put it that way.
Okay. All right, so here's how production.
The doctor.
I think Mike would look like totally. I won. Wow. I don't know how that happened.
I know. No one else does either.
Or just to make a big movie, throw the check in the fire. I've been wanting to do that for.
I bet someone would go in after that.
I don't need it anyway.
So true.
So I'm also one of those that looks a little bit. You've heard me talk about production and how they mold the season as they like with their own agenda, which you said, which with the double episode was perfectly suited to be a double episode.
That was great.
Yeah,
it was great. They worked together. It would not surprise me if Ben went this week and because this is the last Ponderosa you get before the finale. Is the next one coming up because the finale Ponderosas are all at postseason.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
So this will be the last Ponderosa, and what a big Ponderosa video it would be to have Ben talking about all he's been through and how he played and how he struggled. I mean, if for production purposes, you'd almost show it at the finale. It's going to be so epic the way he's going to break down and talk about it and how much this is going to affect his life for the good, and how this experience is going to be good for him because everybody at Ponderosa seems to be having a good time. I mean, everybody likes Joe over there. Everybody likes Lauren over there. I'm telling you, it just wouldn't surprise me if Ben is the last one voted off before the finale.
Which, okay, fine. So they do that. But then, unfortunately, CBS does exactly what you're saying. And we have to hear this whole story again about how his wife saved him. That was great the first time I heard it, but not the 10th time I've heard it.
Yeah. If he goes to the final, you're going to hear it at the final, too.
I know. I'm going to get so much hate for this. But you know what? You can only keep a horse alive for so long. I'm sure.
You know what, Dwayne? You only have a few more episodes of hate, and then haters got to take it somewhere else.
I'm not hating it.
So speak your mind.
No, I mean, I've already talked about it. I think CBS is doing it. CBS is taking advantage of it. So anyway, I've already said that.
So Veda Girl's throwing out, let's several people have Ryan. If it's Ryan, Chrissy, and Mike, and Mark said the same thing. I know. Stop, Dwayne. Hold on, Dwayne. Bear with me. Don't let go of the rope just yet.
Are you throwing up over there?
I don't want to be negative nanny, so I'm going to be nice.
If it's Mike, Chrissy, and Ryan, if Devin is part of the vote out of Ben, whoever votes out Devin, whoever's behind that, even if it's Ryan, like Vader Girl's saying, he can get the credit for that. And I think we agree that Chrissy probably won't get a whole lot of votes because of the way she's played. And if they look at Mike as the coattail rider extraordinaire, only because he's just been fortunate enough not to be the target, then they could actually give it to Ryan. But Ryan has just been Ryan's been so invisible since post-merge. I just can't see them building him up as the winner.
I'm sorry. All I could think about was whenever you said Mike's the coattail rider, I thought, no, he hasn't been on a coattail long enough to ride it.
He's jumping on different coattails.
He's the coattail hopper.
Hopper, yes, that's a good one.
So anything you said after that, I totally didn't hear. Sorry. I'm being way too honest tonight.
Fine. I like it. I like it better this way.
Yeah, but I still got two more episodes of this, so
you'll be fine.
David, you can make it. Kelley, what else did you come on?
I'm not answering or saying anything in regards to that final three because I refuse to believe it will happen. So
I know, isn't that crazy? It's like if you don't have Ben or Devin in the final three. See, now that I know Devin's in it,
he's still in the game.
Why even watch it? I mean, it's just not going to be any fun anymore.
Wayne thinks that Devin played so good in the double episode that he just left. He dropped the mic, dropped his torch. He just walked out of it.
I'm sorry. Chrissy, okay, but does everybody really hate Chrissy? That's all I'm going to say. Do they really hate her?
I feel like hate is a strong word.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I think they would respect her attempts at gameplay and her strategic part, but I don't know. It sounds like the way she approaches people at times is like sandpaper.
Yeah,
and it's just not working well.
Yeah, I just don't know if people would feel good about giving her the money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's how they vote. That's what you and others have told us. You want the person that you vote for to be someone that you feel good about giving the money to.
Yeah.
And for them to represent as the winner of your season.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard that a lot. Who am I okay with winning my season?
Who am I okay with beating?
That's very true.
Yeah, it's okay that this person beat me, but it's not okay that this person beat me.
Yeah, it's a very true. It's a very, very true feeling that people have. Yeah.
Right. If I'm out there, I'm okay. I'd even be okay that Ashley beat me over Chrissy. But I'd be okay if Ben beat me. I'd be okay if Devin beat me. Mike, I guess a little bit. Ashley, a little bit. Ryan used to would have felt that way. But Chrissy, I wouldn't want to give her the money. I don't care about the money. I wouldn't want to give her the title.
Yeah, I guess someone that already is displaying that annoying confidence like we talked about, I feel like I wouldn't want to add to their, like, fan that flame, like I wouldn't want to make them feel even better. Like, I knew I was better than you. I knew this whole time I was playing better than you.
Do you think any of this is just editing? Do you think that she's not really playing this way? They're just showing us this side of the game?
I don't, because I feel like there's been a lot of exit interviews, mostly from females, but that have talked about kind of mean she was and standoffish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To people that she did not want to play with. Like, she did not, she was not nice or didn't allow people in that were not in her alliance.
Well,
very like Mean Girls mentality.
Yeah. Okay. Right. This is my lunch table, and I'm not going to let you sit at it.
You can't sit with us, Dwayne.
That's right. I am having trouble. No, but yeah, and until you find out that everyone at your table left you, and then all of a sudden you want to be the friends with the people you wouldn't let sit at your table. So somehow we got to talking about middle school girls. I don't know how that happened.
Sorry. It's my fault.
No, it's not.
It is. It is.
It's the whole table. The whole table.
But I don't want to bash on Chrissy anymore. Like, I feel like,
either.
you know, we don't know her personally, so I hope that that's not how this is being taken. I still
respect the game the way she's playing. I just can see her at the end not understanding how they couldn't vote for her.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The way I've played, the fact that I've made it. I mean, if you make it to the end, you've made it to the end. You know, whether you're Mike or Ryan or whatever. See, we're not getting anything from Ryan, but Ryan's doing something because he's still there. He has not been targeted since they've gotten to the merge.
Right.
Nobody's talking about voting out Ryan, which is good on Ryan. He's playing a game. He went from, like we said, near the top in the beginning with the Hustlers to, I've lost Devin. I need to disappear. And he's done that. That's a game. That's a strategic play if that's what he's trying to do.
Okay.
He has not been targeted for anything. He's just been a vote.
By the way, anything we say about survivors in this context is based solely on what CBS shows us. None of it's about them personally. So, you know, I would never. Well, anyway, all of this stuff about Chrissy and everything, it all has to do with what CBS shows us and what we see as their gameplay. Absolutely, I don't think they take it personally. I guess maybe some of them might, but we certainly don't mean it that way. And I know you don't.
We'll make up for it next year.
Yeah, next year we're going to be really nice all the time.
We thought we were nice this year. Wait till next year.
Yeah, wait till
in your silence.
That's right, in our silence. Yeah. Oh man.
One last thought on Chrissy. This is my last thought. If she does get to Final 3, and there is anybody on the fence about her, I feel like she would be the one person that could talk herself out of a win.
Well, no, talk herself
because
out
I
of a
feel
win.
like, I don't think she would take the approach of understanding people. Mm-hmm. I think she would take the approach of just as she's done, like, no, I'm right.
No empathy.
Exactly.
There would be.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm agreeing with you that there'd be very little empathy or I can see where you're coming from type of.
Exactly. And with the format not being the direct questions, but they're going back to that open kind of chatter, I feel like that would be really bad for her. But, I could be wrong. What the heck do I know?
How in the world is JP going to decide on who to vote for?
Who?
JP. Yeah. Okay. Again.
Who?
You got me again. How? I mean.
Oh, I don't know.
He looked lost at Tribal. It was like, have I been here before? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, but seriously, who's he going to vote for? What's he going to base it on?
Whatever he hears at Ponderosa.
Because, I mean, we never really got anything from him except flexing after he lost a challenge. So it'd be interesting. So you're right. Whoever is okay. This is what Cass will talk about next week. She'll talk about whoever's controlling Ponderosa will decide who wins.
Whoever the ringleader is in there, sure. Which I think is maybe Joe.
Yeah, I agree. So does Mark in our chat room. He talks about Joe being the jury foreman.
I absolutely. Yeah. I loved watching Joe play. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy Joe, or did he rub you the wrong way, or what? Kelley. I
like Crazy Joe. Yeah, I like Crazy Joe. I think I was just annoyed all season that people kept comparing him to Tony because it's like, why? Because he's from that same area and kind of looks like him and is a little bit of a crazy player. Like, well, then you could also say maybe he's like a Russell Hantz, like, just because whatever. Like, he should be his own person.
Right.
I think he always played down. I think he always played down in numbers, which is why I liked him because he was always fighting, always trying to find a way to get back in a good spot.
Right.
Yeah. No, I liked him.
He talked a lot, but Tony was like, he was on Adderall 24 hours a day, and Joe wasn't doing that. Joe was just playing aggressively and willing to do whatever it took, and even willing to, mess with people's minds and cause problems at tribal council. That's not Tony. I mean, it's not Tony. I enjoyed watching Joe for who Joe was, and I really enjoyed watching him.
So are we getting Mike's best impersonation of Joe going forward, trying to disrupt tribal councils? Joe would throw the shell into the fire.
That's
Joe's
right.
probably
I want to be. What would Joe do?
Oh my gosh, you might be right.
Mike has a WWJD bracelet, but it's Joe instead of Jesus. What would Joe do? Joe would throw this shell in the fire.
Joe told me to do it.
That's right.
What if he said that, though? He's like, I've always wanted to do this, and Joe told me to.
Yeah.
You toss it in. You're like, what?
Joe told me I could.
Yeah.
I could believe in myself.
And then Joe screams at the jury, why would you throw an idol away?
Yeah. Oh, Joe was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Joe is shocked again that Ben, yet again, is surviving. They're going to end up voting everybody else off, and Ben's going to end up winning the game. Yes, they tried, but as we've already talked about earlier, they could have played it differently and gotten him off if they hadn't been so confident.
Because last night he kept himself in the game. They tried, and he's like, if they'd have done it when I told them to, they could have voted me out next, but if they should have done it now, they're not going to get him out.
Right. Yeah. Let's see what else I got here. Let's see. Kelley's challenge. Oh, I do think the immunity necklace is incredibly ugly and looks very uncomfortable. These are the type of very important things I write down.
Yes, good observation. That's fine.
I did like seeing, while you're looking at your notes, I did like seeing Ben pull Chrissy aside. I thought that was, I'm like, finally, can we, because this is one of those things where you get into a movie or a TV show and there's two different sides of the situation, but it's like, well, if that person would talk to that person, this show would end in one night. This movie would end at like 20 minutes in because we'd get this resolved. So it comes down to getting Chrissy on board, and Ben finally pulls over and says, whatever you're holding against me, I just want to apologize for it. I'm sorry for it. And she's right about, why should I trust you now? Because you've dumped me for the past week. But at the same time, what else has she got? Ryan's like, I'll do it. I know I can't trust him, but I'll go along with you because if it's not me getting voted out, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, and I know Chrissy may not want to give in to that because she's stronger or more confident in herself type thing. But at the same time, what have you got to lose? You're down. They've got an extra vote. If he's duping you again, he's duping you again, and you poison the jury and you don't vote for him.
Yeah.
But otherwise, but I was really glad to see that. I'm one of those mending fences type people. I like to see people mend fences. And that's one thing I like about Ponderosa is everybody getting along and revealing stuff and talking about stuff. But I just enjoyed that scene where Ben pulled her aside and said, look, let's get rid of this and let's start working together again.
Yeah. Hey, before we get to feedback, which we'll be getting to pretty soon, Kelley, was there any topic or something that you wanted to discuss that we've not gotten to before we get to feedback, which might even bring some of it up, but I know you had some things that you wanted to make sure you hit.
Oh, the main thing I want to talk about was that horrible idol. That was really it.
All right.
How wonderful would it have been if she'd have pulled out the actual shell from her pocket? Surely there's more than one shell on that island.
Yeah, that was also something we didn't talk about. That was so stupid. Why'd she give him the actual shell?
Why didn't she give everybody a shell?
Oh, my goodness. You're absolutely right.
Why didn't she just pick up some random shell on the beach and be like, here, Mike, here's the shell?
You know what I think happened?
Didn't have any writing on it. Didn't have a logo on it.
No.
It probably had a drilled hole for the necklace, for the rope.
Yeah, but they wouldn't know that. See it. But they wouldn't have known that. And you know what it was? It was probably some very impromptu decision. Because she looked like she was like, okay, here's the thing. And then she just
It looked like it was, yeah.
Yeah. And then they give us a little thing later. I got to get people to trust me. That was afterwards. Well,
you got to keep it cool, Lauren. You can't just, can't just do that.
In a sense, her intention was right because she got all the votes, but they never even talked about splitting votes, obviously, because she had everybody voting the right way. So it got Mike's attention, and then Mike just went nuts on it.
Wrong. It was just wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was wrong. It was a bad idol and a bad play, and we lose an extra vote advantage out of the game.
Save yourself. Oh, hi, little kitty.
Okay, I was going to see if you could hear him purring. Hold on.
He's beautiful.
Black cats. Where's the kale?
You hear him purring?
No.
Oh, well, I do.
He's very handsome.
He's such a good kitty. He's all black except for this little white spot right there.
So for people that can't see us, Dwayne was holding his black cat.
That's right. And I do not have kale. Sorry, Vader girl.
Talking about it.
Yes. Well, you know what? I had to have something. So there you go. All right, let's get to some feedback. What do y'all say? You like that idea?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody sit back. It's time for feedback. Our listeners have to say what's on their minds today. D&D will hear you. D&D will read you. D&D will take the time to take your lines, analyze, and feel you. It's feedback. Survivor Talk with D&D. Take and listen to feedback, y'all. That's right.
Kelly's like, I've never heard that before. We've been playing it for 2 years.
But now she knows why we're not doing video anymore.
Yeah, because I danced during it.
I did too. It's fine.
All right, David, you've got the first one. It's Mark Percy, our wonderful graphic artist.
All right, what's up, Kelly? So stoked you were on the podcast again. I'm sure you covered it by now, but that reward challenge was the absolute worst challenge in Survivor history.
Yeah, maybe really? So. Worst ever, yeah.
Drawing marbles was the challenge. Some have speculated one of the loved ones didn't pass medical to do the real challenge. And they had to improvise. But even if that was the case, I think they could have done better.
Hey, David.
The only benefit... Oh, go ahead.
Well, because you're reading way over on the side, your volume goes to half.
I didn't pull up I pulled up the email. Let me go to the feedback document, and now I'll get back up to this and read this.
Now we can hear you better.
Okay.
Thank you.
The only benefit to it was short and gave the episode more time for the family interaction and more time for the rest of the episode. I kind of wondered that too, if they couldn't come up with a shorter challenge because of all the loved ones interaction and Probst reminding us why he doesn't have a talk show anymore, and taking all that time and then making the reward challenge last 30 seconds.
35 seasons.
But they would have already decided that. They would have already decided that.
Yes.
That wasn't like that they had a challenge set up and then decided, we've had such a great loved one intro, we're going to do marbles.
True,
exactly.
True.
Hey, they had Survivor buff bags made specifically for this.
They were probably reused from my season.
Yeah.
This is the official Kelley Wentworth bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I keep this in the room?
Yeah, really.
I love the episode despite the reward challenge and think it was the best episode of the season to date.
Oh, wow.
I think Ben is shooting himself in the foot. Well, as far as best episodes, I still think the double was probably the best episode.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
I think Ben is shooting himself in the foot, and while it is still possible he could win if he gets to the end, I think he is making it harder on himself. He definitely needs to improve his social game, and he has little self-awareness of how he is coming off to everyone. I was sad to see Lauren go, as I was blindsided by that one other than the way Tribal was going. I figured Ben would play as Otto, but going into the episode and even leading up to the Tribal, I didn't think she would be the one going. I think it would help Mike, Ryan, and Chrissy's game, but it remains to be seen how much it will help. I didn't have Lauren on my fantasy team, so that part is good. Me either. I really thought she was going to be the victim of an age vote with that Hustler tribe until Simone showed that she didn't want to play either. So
she just did so well until it came to idols. As soon as they started giving her things besides like social, when they started giving her tools of the game, she totally blew it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. That's the next level of Survivors, knowing how to play with that stuff. I didn't have Lauren on my fantasy team, so that part is good, but I thought she was a fun character and hope she gets another chance to play. And so does Probst. I thought Chrissy did a great job on the family visit to present a logical reason to vote Ben out, and ultimately that combined with Ben's own actions swayed everyone that way. Ben's idol play was very Wentworth-esque, with Lauren assuming the role of Andrew Savage. But once again, Ben is digging his own grave with how he is dealing with people. With 6 people left in the game and no idols or advantages left, are you sure? We still have next week. Mm-hmm. In fact, the reward challenge is for an advantage. No. With 6 people left in the game and no idols or advantages left, it really is anyone's game. I kind of hope they don't put Ben's idol back into play and just let it play out. It will also be interesting to see if Chrissy's fake idol will come into play. If Ben doesn't win immunity, I could see him going next, but I could also see Mike, Ryan, and Chrissy using Ben this week to get rid of Ashley or Devin, and then targeting Ben after that. The toughest part about working with Ben is he is totally untrustworthy at this point, and trying to use him could put an end to your game. That's absolutely true with all these people. Mm-hmm. You don't know who you can trust and who's going to flip on you.
By the way, Kelley, check our messenger. I need to tell you something.
I love.
Oh my God! What?
I love Lauren getting mad at Ben at Tribal when she was the one that wanted to vote out Ben first. Yeah, but she got mad at Ben for telling all of their secrets.
Yeah.
Mark continues, I am favoring a Devin win right now, but I think a Mike, Ryan, and Chrissy final three would be fun. I think a Devin, Ben, and Lauren final three would have been awesome. I really didn't see how Ashley could win this game, but I think everyone else has a legitimate shot. Can't wait to see how it plays out. And lastly, for those that indicated you wanted to help with my idea that I posted about in the Facebook group, please get those submissions in ASAP. Thank you, and sincerely, Mark Percy.
I tried to submit something, and he wouldn't let me. Next, we have Kieran. Where is Kieran from? I think he's from Canada. Is he from Canada, eh?
I think he's from Maryland.
Oh, that's right, Maryland. By the way, Kelley, be thinking about some Washington State names, because I'm going to get names that I'll have trouble pronouncing because everybody seems to get a kick out of it. All right.
But why?
Gwen mentions it, or one of our feedback mentions it later.
Oh.
So anyway, here we go. This is Kieran from Maryland.
What's up, guys? It's Kieran from Maryland. This was a great episode. It's getting better and better. Time for my feedback. Chrissy was shown being vindictive after Ben left her out and blindsided her, while Ben was shown being super arrogant and condescending. Both were not portrayed well in this episode. I know Ben's edit has been getting worse and worse, and this episode was terrible. Mike appeared to be the dead man walking after the previous episode, but no one thought about eliminating him. At least in the episode, no one brought his name up for elimination, so good on him. Lauren is just telling people about her idol and advantage. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't be telling people things. And why would she give half the idol to Mike? Mike is a sole outsider. Why would you give it to him? That didn't make any sense. During Tribal Council, Ben got called out for spilling the beans about Lauren's advantage and idol, and Mike threw the idol in the fire. What? Why would you throw the idol in the fire? Come on. It was funny, but at the same time, it was really stupid in my opinion. Ben plays his idol and Lauren goes. Did not see that coming. I thought Lauren was getting the best edit and was going to win. Props to the editors with the way they're editing people. They're doing an amazing job. I give it to them. Based on the preview, Ben is the main target, but Ashley could be a target as well. I don't see Ben going the next episode. It'll be too obvious. Overall, this was a great episode. The loved ones was great. There were a lot of strategic content, a lot of drama, and it was a pretty crazy Tribal Council. My questions for you are, did you see Lauren going, and how do you think Ben's going to make it to the end? Do you think he has to win his way out like Mike did, or do you think he can convince people to take him? All right, that's my feedback. Have a nice day.
Well, Karen, we're obviously thinking on the same wavelength, because earlier in the show, Kelley and I both agreed he's almost going to have to win his way out of the game, or win his way to the end in order to win, because they're going to have their target on him.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
And we also said that we didn't anticipate Lauren would be going this episode. So,
golly, Karen, if you'd just been listening.
If you could have known what we were going to say.
Gosh, Karen. And there was something going on in the background. I don't know what it was. He was at a dogfight or something. I heard stuff going on in the background. All right. Now we have probably one of our longest time listeners, Wendy Zell from South Dakota. Here we go.
Ooh. Hi, Dwayne and David and all my Survivor buddies. This is Wendy from South Dakota. Just got done watching the episode. Got done watching it in time this week. Last week I didn't get it watched till Saturday, which was ridiculous. Wow, amazing episode. I'm rooting for Ben, so I was happy with who got voted out, but unfortunately, I hope he has avenues from here other than winning all the immunity immunity rewards, challenges, immunity challenges. It was kind of hypocritical how they were trying to make him the bad guy when they were the ones that were planning on giving him out first anyway. I'm not sure if he could have done it in a better way. One thing is for sure, everyone on that tribe has loose lips. So I guess he did it the right way. Is the only way to keep it a secret is not to tell anyone. It was kind of fun to see it get played the way it did at the end there, his immunity idol. I just hope that he has a way to work through this to stay in a little bit longer. But, the game is the game, and it's still really exciting. And it's not that I dislike any of the other players. I don't think Ashley has a lot. I mean, she hasn't really done anything big moves-wise. I feel like she's being carried along a little bit. I don't know. But it's not that I don't like her, but it's just such an exciting season. I'm just happy that it's such a good season. So I don't really have a lot more to say. Just wanted to call in for D&D since it's your last season and all, and say go Ben. Y'all take care.
Kelley, I don't know if you know this, but the last couple times she's watched Survivor, she's had to watch it in this big John Deere tractor thing, and she literally got to watch it in, what was it, David, 10 or 15 second spurts?
I thought it was like 30 seconds, something like that.
Like 30 seconds she gets to watch, and she has to pause it and go do something for 5 minutes, and then she watches 30 seconds and then goes and does something. Oh, now I'm hungry. Boy, you and Jessica eating chips on the show. Oh.
It's a cookie. It's gluten-free.
A cookie.
That's either a fat chip or that's a cookie.
Well, all I saw was food, and I'm hungry. All right.
Yummy.
Next we have Will, the Giant Ninja. What's up, guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know Will, don't you?
Yes, I do.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. So Dwayne has asked, and Dwayne shall receive. Written feedback it is. Preamble, an ode to Queen Lauren in the form of a limerick. Lauren's game was starting to shimmer, while her sister saw she'd gotten slimmer. Oh, gosh. You've lost some rolls. Thanks for the compliment. Okay. She went after Ben. It was working, but then she wished Ben had been a bit dimmer. And in the form of a haiku, Fishmonger Lauren, you didn't have to go home. You had an idol. And before I get too far into this, homage must be paid to the amazing Kelley Wentworth. Kelley, my kids love you. Gracie comments all the time how much she looks like you, and she's right. And Mike,
that's so cute.
And Mikey, I know it is. And Mikey, my youngest son, who you've heard on the podcast, thinks you are the greatest survivor who doesn't share a name with him or one of his siblings. Which is fair. That's a tough hill to climb.
That's really cute.
But I digress, he says. Back to my uber short written feedback. For this week, we're back to a good old how does so-and-so win? Because this game is nuts. And the final 6 was a group I don't think anyone would have predicted even last week, much less 2 weeks ago. So, from my least likely to win to my most likely to win, here's how each contestant can win. So his least likely to win is Ashley, but here's how she could win. Ashley needs to take control of her game. Rightly or wrongly, she's seen as a goat, being dragged along by better players. Voting Joe out was actually a bad move for Ashley. She should have used Joe and his and Mike's votes excuse me, to take over the game and take ownership of that. Instead, she went along with everyone else and got rid of someone who would vote for anyone else over him. At this point, Ashley needs to think about likability. And people don't like Chrissy. Ashley needs to work with Chrissy and get there with Ryan. She can't beat Dr. Mike or Devin, as they'll be seen as more likable. And if Ben is there, the jury will respect his game even if they don't like him. Ashley is backed into a corner, but luckily, so are Chrissy and Ryan. So he says the only way Ashley can win is if she's there with Chrissy and Ryan. Do you think she could win against Chrissy and Ryan?
to me, it's how much she had a part in that 4, and then how much she had a part in that 3, and then now the 3's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was a dog.
I refuse to go down that road. That was my dog snoring.
I was going to say.
I thought it was the cat. That's Dwayne's stomach.
That's something from Kelly's feed. Don't ask.
It's this little girl. It's this little nugget. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look at her face right now.
Are you a good girl, baby? She's a fat little pig.
Oh, man. Wow. What a cute dog.
Yeah.
I love dogs.
Anyway, sorry.
All right. Number 5, Ryan. So 5th, he doesn't think Ryan could beat Ashley, but no one else is what he thinks. My BFAM is in the same boat as Ashley. The only difference is that he would probably be more respected in the jury's eyes even than Ashley. And so if he can get to the end with Ashley and Chrissy, the anti-Chrissy votes might fall on him. I don't see Ryan winning this game against Devin, Dr. Mike, or Ben, and so his options are limited. He needs to stick with Chrissy, who will remain loyal to him, making them one of the last trusting pairs left in the game, and get Ashley to work with him. Now, his next person is Devin.
Hey, before you go there, wow, I'm surprised Devin's there. But before you, I think one thing that would increase Ashley's chances is winning out. Well, if she can go on a run and keep herself in the game while her alliance mates get voted out, I think that would garner some respect from the jury.
Think so? Do you think so, Kelly?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, another good point by David. But I think it's pretty far-fetched. I don't know. She's not high on my list. I also didn't think Michelle Fitzgerald could win, and she did. So
there you go.
What the hell do I know?
Exactly. No,
she's a freaking millionaire.
Yeah, really. And all you got was $50,000 for whatever that was. All right, so he thinks Devin can beat Ashley and Ryan, but here's how he could win the whole thing. Devin is very likable, and I could definitely see Devin winning this game if he can get to the end. The problem is that Devin is very likable, and he needs other people to think he's beatable. I don't think enough people think Devin is beatable to take Devin to the end. His best bet is to stay loyal to Ashley and hope she stays loyal to him. If he does that, he can force a tie with one additional vote. Dr. Mike? I don't know whether he can mend fences with Ben after all that's transpired. I think it's more likely that Ben would work with Chrissy and Ryan than with Devin and Ashley. Because of that, I think Devin is next out. He's too big a threat. He thinks Devin goes out next.
Yeah, that's similar to my rankings for this week.
Wow. Third likely to win is Dr. Mike. The last standing healer is in a very good spot. He's a free agent in a game of 6. What he needs to do is team up with Chrissy and Ryan or with Devin and Ashley. By joining with either pair, he creates a tie situation at worst. He should go with Chrissy and Ryan since he can beat them based on likability. If he pairs up with Devin and Ashley, Devin will probably win this game, which is why he won't team up with Devin and Ashley. It doesn't help him win. Then, his second most likely to win is Chrissy. My, how the tables have turned. Had Chrissy not won immunity last week, she probably would have been voted out instead of Joe. But after she did, and Joe was voted out, the incredibly strong alliance of 4 turned on itself and imploded, which, David, you and I talked about last episode. Mm-hmm. At this point, Chrissy is in a great spot. She has a loyal...
Oh, what?
I love it.
Oh, you can still hear her?
I love hearing your dog. I think it's great.
Why aren't you done yet? I'm hungry.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Get off.
She does need to go for a walk.
Get off the stupid computer. All right, I'm sorry. At this point, Chrissy is in a great spot. She's a loyal ally, and 3 votes should control the game. Unless the other 4 players all vote together, Chrissy and Ryan will control where this game goes because they have 2 votes. I think Ben and Dr. Mike will vote with Chrissy and Ryan, which will end up with Devin or Ashley going home. He says Chrissy's best move would be to go to the end with Ryan and Ashley, just like it would be each of their best moves as well. But I don't see it happening. At least not unless Devin is voted out first, and then that group comes together to take out Ben. He thinks Ben is going to win. And here's how he's going to do it. Everyone is gunning for Ben now, and if they get together to eliminate the biggest threat next week, he's done. But I just don't see it happening. I don't know if he's going to win immunity or find an idol or what, but Ben's win has been telegraphed to us for weeks. I just see him making it through the next round and riding that to the end. The good news for Ben is that if he gets to the end, he wins, and everyone's plans have been thrown in the fire along with Lauren's immunity idol. It's a new game, and Ben can work with whatever contingent is willing to work with him. If he does that, he will win the game. So there you have it, D&D. Ben is still our winner in my eyes. He has too many paths to the end and too strong a case to make it in front of the jury. This is Ben's game to lose. Well, that's all I've got. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja. Like his
Lots of info in there.
I know.
Yeah.
He really thinks he's a lawyer. He
that all makes sense.
This is basically his closing argument. Every week he writes a closing argument. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, good.
All right, next we have Black Cats and Kale Girl, Vader Girl, otherwise known as Mir I Am, who is in the chat room, actually.
Hey, Dave and Dwayne, Kelley Wentworth, D&D patrons, fans, listeners, everybody, family members. This is Mir I Am, also known as Vader Girl, from Everett, Washington. Anyways, I just wanted to say I loved last night's episode. I don't know who didn't. It was very exciting. Tribal Council was really great. I don't know if they should have split the votes in case Ben had an idol or if that would have made a difference. It was very, very interesting. I was very sorry to see Lauren go. I thought she was amazing. She's just a fierce, great Survivor character, and I hope to see her back again. And it was interesting. I thought that Ben's edit got a little bit more villainous last night, which is interesting. And I also thought, as far as winning, I'm Team Ryan 100%. His chances do look better. But I was thinking towards the end, well, Ryan needs to win an immunity. And then I realized none of the guys have won immunities. In fact, only out of the people remaining in the game, only Chrissy and Ashley have won individual immunity. So I guess that makes Devin, Ben, Dr. Mike, and Ryan all kind of equal if they make it to the end, if none of them win immunities. It'll be interesting. I think still Ryan has a pretty good chance. I think Ben's great. I love Dr. Mike, but I don't see him winning. I don't see Devin winning. A lot of people think he's going to win, but I think he's got a kind of villainous edit, and I just don't think I think he's made some foolish mistakes, like not voting Ben out, and I think the jury will hold that against him, if Ben makes it to the end. So it should be interesting. So anyways, thank you guys for all you do. May the force be with you. Black Cats and Kale for life. And thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, D&D, this is Mir I Am again. Yes, I have one more thing I wanted to say. I was pondering Ponderosa last night, and I've really been loving the Ponderosas again. And I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it was great last night because it really showed Joe and Lauren and the close relationship they have. Who knew? They're a pretty cute couple. I mean, I could tell they really, really like each other. They went crabbing, and it was just really, really cute. Joe is obviously the king of Ponderosa. It's funny, but I don't know if you guys have seen Ponderosa, but it's worth checking out. Miriam out on Pondering Ponderosa. Bye.
Miriam, next time you're at the drag races, don't leave feedback from the drag races. Apparently you were in the car that was drag racing.
She just mentioned another first. If Mike and Ryan and Ben all get to final tribal without winning immunity, then somebody didn't win the final immunity. So one of them's going to have to win one immunity to get to final tribal.
That's a very good point, David.
Just saying.
Also, isn't Joe married? Or he has kids at least.
I don't know if he's married, but he does have kids.
Sparking up an interest with Lauren. They might just be having fun. I don't know.
Put it this way. Who else
is Ponderosa?
Cole and JP. Lauren's going fishing? I'm going fishing with Lauren.
Yeah, you forgot about Desi.
Desi's there. Yeah.
I'm going fishing with Lauren, Joe says. Oh, no, because he and Desi were very close.
They were, but they haven't been together for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, he's going fishing with Lauren so he can actually stimulate his mind.
Yes.
Hoo-hoo!
Crab meat.
Wow, what was that you said earlier?
And things like that.
Yeah, okay. Faith from, I hate this. Let's just say Washington. She's from Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, say it. I've met her before.
Is it Ephrata? Ephrata. What's with Washington and all these weird names? All right. Hey, David, Dwayne, and Kelly. I wanted to say, holy cow, was last night's tribal crazy? I'm sure you've talked about it already, but why would Lauren give... Wait, this is David's supposed to be reading this one. Go ahead, David.
Great. You can read the last
No. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, holy cow, was last night's tribal crazy? I'm sure you've talked about it already, but why? I love how people admit that we're smart and we talk about stuff that they already know.
I know, it's awesome.
But why would Lauren give Dr. Mike half of her idol? You hear that your name, you play your idol. It's Survivor 101. I know Ben made everyone mad, but it was kind of cool to see the look on everyone's faces. No one had a clue he had an idol, which was really surprising to me. Also, that reward challenge was, of course, that may have been talked about because everybody was voting for him. But anyway, also that reward challenge was super frustrating. It would have been better if they had to guess the color and show the marble at the same time. But it would still be lame. Agree. I'm going to miss the podcast, but I'll be in your Facebook group. So, Dwayne, for old time's sake, can I get you to say Ephrata one more time?
Ephrata.
Maybe Yakima too.
What?
Is that right? Yakima?
Akula Matata? What? Akuna Matata? What? What did she say?
Yakima.
Yakima?
Oh,
Yakima?
Gosh.
This is why we're not doing the podcast anymore.
You just said Yakima?
Are these Indian names or something? Is that what it is? Are they Indian names?
Yakima. I don't know. Probably.
Yakima. That almost sounds dirty. Like I shouldn't say that word.
That's why I said it like the name of a woman, yes. I know Kelly will enjoy it as much as I will. Yeah, she did. She's still laughing. Can't wait to listen to the episode tomorrow. I can't listen live. I'm busy studying for my fundamental engineering test. But I'll listen at work tomorrow. Go Hawks. Faith.
Go Hawks.
Oh, I do.
How about that win last week?
All right. Let's see. What do we got next?
Oh, yeah, they won. Yeah.
Oh, our last one is from Gwen. Gwen, I know you're very unhappy with this, but I am reading your feedback. I always seem to mess up her feedback, Kelly. Every single time I mess up her feedback. So
you got this.
So here we go.
I have faith in you.
Here we go. Stretch. Here we go.
Prepare yourself.
Hello, D and D and K. David, you never listen.
Oh. Okay.
Gwen from... No, I'm just kidding. Last night was a very sad night. Rest in peace, fan favorite Lauren Rimmer. Too bad D&D are leaving us all and will not be covering your eventual return and domination. Just try not to give someone else part of your idol and you'll be fine. Just like Jeff Probst's life. I was going to write... See why I mess these things up? I was going to write a witty feedback filled with psych references for David's enjoyment, since I know he binge-watched the entire series over the last week in preparation for the Psych movie coming out tonight. However, it has come to my attention that our darling Kelley Wentworth does not watch Psych either. Kelly, I am disappointed. A great...
What?
You would love Psych. You would love Psych.
What is it about? Is it on Netflix or what?
Okay.
Is it like a documentary?
No, stop it. Psych is a double entendre, if that's how you pronounce it. It's a double entendre, right?
Why? What do you mean?
It's like, psych, right? And then also he pretends to be a psychic. So the name of their investigative agency is Psych, which is funny because it's like, psych, I'm not really a psychic. Psych.
Did you just spoil the show?
No. That's the name of it.
Does he give that away in the first episode?
Is it a humorous show or is it like drama?
It's incredibly funny. You know what? Try it.
I don't like funny.
Oh, well. You laugh all the time. How do you not like funny?
Well, I like funny in my own life, but on TV shows, I like more like crime solving.
Oh, like Broadchurch. Have you watched that on Netflix? Broadchurch?
No, I watch the first 48 on A&E.
Oh, okay. Was that like the only show you watched? The only crime drama you watched?
They're solving murders, real life.
Oh, well, okay. There you go.
My husband thinks there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, really. Look, honey, look what they did to that body. All right.
Very fascinating.
Yes. All right. She says, Kelley, get on it. P.S. I love you. Oh. You are excused. Oh. David is not.
Is it like airplane funny? Or not that? No, it's not that.
Just watch it, David. Stop asking all the time and watch it.
Oh, wait.
What's it on?
Anyway. As for the rest of the players, Ben's emotions nearly jumped above maximum intensity needlessly. Ryan yaps and nags. Chrissy has rock intelligence slyly short. Wait, hold on. Okay.
You just got that?
She's used, what's this called? An acronym? What's it called, Kelley, whenever the first letter of every word spells out something?
Spells out their names.
Well, in this case, it spells out their names. Mm-hmm. So Benjamin, she wrote, Ben's emotions nearly jumped above maximum intensity needlessly.
Oh, Lord, I can't. That was like 9th grade.
Yeah, I think it's called an acronym. Anyway.
Onomatopoeia? Is that a poem? What is that?
No. Onomatopoeia is something different. That's part of
a town in Washington.
That's a psych. There's a psych episode with that in it.
What is it? What is that?
The Spelling Bee psych episode is one of the funniest episodes you'll ever see. All right. Anyway, Ryan.
Oh no.
I know. No one really dies in it.
That's not it.
It's all
fake.
I
was looking up onomatopoeia.
Oh, it's too. It's not it.
All right, Ryan. Ryan yaps and nags. Chrissy has rock intelligence, slyly shorting yearns. That I don't understand that one, Gwen. Sorry. That one was. Whoa. Why'd you get so mad at me, Gwen, in the chat room?
That's why I love when you read her feedback.
Devin expelled very obscene nonsense. Ashley, she has life, yawn. Okay. Mike is king eventually. On a serious note, sending thoughts out to those affected by the SoCal fires. Santa Barbara's air quality has been seriously diminished. Well, this feedback has taken a turn, hasn't it? I did. Gwen,
yeah, she got on my level.
Yeah, there you go. Santa Barbara's air quality has been seriously diminished. Tune in at 5 for more information. But she didn't write that. But that is nothing compared to the devastation in surrounding areas. Any support listeners can provide is greatly appreciated. Insert heart emoji here. Peace, Gwen from Santa Barbara.
Oh, I love Santa Barbara.
Well, so does Gwen.
That's where Gwen is from?
Yes. Shall I read her feedback again?
Oh, my gosh. If I go to Santa Barbara, I'm going to have to talk to Gwen again. We went there 2 years ago. That's where Arlen proposed to me.
Oh, really?
Santa Barbara. Yeah, right after Survivor.
Wow. Okay. You just said something that Gwen is going to like. Okay, Gwen in the chat room. Yes! What? She wants to meet up with you.
Yeah, I love Santa Barbara. Oh, my gosh. I love it down there. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Anyway.
Gwen wants to know.
I'll let her know if I get down there.
Yeah, Gwen wants to know why you didn't visit her 2 years ago then.
I was too busy stuffing my face with ice cream at the Baskin Robbins. Oh, no, yes. It's a Cold Stone. I was so hungry. Sorry.
By the way, just getting off a little bit, Gwen is in our chat room, and she said that I said season 1 of Psych sucks, which is absolutely not true, Gwen. That's not what I said. I said it's not as good as the rest of them. All right. Done. All right. Well, guess what? The torture is over. We
did it.
Yes. We did it.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
I'm so kidding.
Wait. You are in need of a vacation.
I am.
I know it's a great place called Santa Barbara you can go.
Yeah, really. Hey, I can
really
meet Gwen.
Beautiful.
I can meet Gwen. Oh, you know what, though, Kelley? Something that's very serious. I'm going to change the mode of this podcast for just a second.
Okay.
David and I could probably go anywhere in the United States or at least the majority of the United States, and even some places overseas, and always have a place to stay because of all the friends we've made with the podcast.
See, that's so wonderful.
Isn't that cool? Like, you just said, so cool. Go to Santa Barbara. If I went to Santa Barbara, I get to meet Gwen.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
If I'm ever up in Ephrata, I'll get to meet Faith.
Yeah.
And I can't pronounce your town name for nothing, so it doesn't even matter.
That's Ephrata.
Oh, well, then I get to meet you too.
I'm in Seattle, though. But you can meet Dale.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, well, anyway. David, do you have anything that you want to say? Anything else about the show? Or
just want to finish Mike's thought where he said, if you're unsure of things, Survivor 102 is plan B. Believe that someone will save you for the next game day.
All right. Kelley,
Mike said that?
No, he did say Survivor 102 is plan B. When he caused all the ruckus at the end, started telling people, both sides of the groups, who was doing what.
Yeah.
Great.
Kelley, do you have any final Survivor words about the season or about last night's episode? No?
No, I got nothing. Nothing at all.
She's like, it's 2 hours. Let's go. Yeah.
I got a dog here.
No, what do you mean?
So what do you want?
Yeah, my dog needs to go for a walk.
She does need to go potty probably, but she's eating a bone. I have 2 dogs, so they both need to go.
Yeah. I do enjoy following the life of your dogs on Instagram sometimes. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see my latest one?
With
the recycling bin?
I have not. I'll have to look for that.
Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, well then. Oh, it was a story. Sometimes I don't get to stories quickly enough. In fact, I probably don't even look at my timeline. Maybe rarely do I look at my timeline. It's always, okay, who's got a story? I just look at the stories.
Yeah, the stories are good.
Yeah.
I like the stories.
Well, we want to thank all of our D&D patrons. It is because of you that we're going to be able to continue having Survivor Talk on iTunes, etc., and our website, etc. And, of course, our Survivor Talk Facebook group will stay up and running, and that'll be good. And the last thing I have to say about the episode was I enjoyed watching it. And I was disappointed very much so that Lauren went home. I was really,
me too.
In fact, the most disappointed all season that I have been that someone went home was Lauren.
Yeah, same. I really liked her.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
I just.
You weren't?
What?
Can I ask one question before you go?
Oh, please.
What are you gonna do with the room that you do podcasting in? Are you gonna leave all your Survivor stuff up, or is it turning into something else?
It's a closet.
It's a museum.
Yeah, it's my Survivor museum.
It's a closet?
Yeah, but I use it for voiceover work. I do some voiceover stuff. Okay. So I use it for that. Okay. And other than that, like somebody, Jessica last week asked me what I'm going to do with that blanket. I'm probably going to actually start using it as a blanket.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
The buffs, I have way too many buffs.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with all these buffs? You know? All they do is they sit here in a stack to begin with. And what am I going to do with all of them? I don't know. Unless I start wearing them. Do you have a buff? Do you wear it to do like working out or anything like that?
No, but I guess it's a little different for me because then I feel like I would just be drawing attention to myself.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like trying to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really? So you mean people that have played that actually wear their buffs out in public are drawing attention to themselves?
There are so many former survivors that live on that for the rest of their lives.
Don't you think so?
Oh yeah, I do agree. I was being sarcastic. Sorry. The delay was not showing my eyes, but yeah, there are lots of people that continue to wear their buffs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even not at charity events.
Every possible chance they have to get to a survivor party, they're at it. It's
well, I know that, but yeah, we don't need to go down that road.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to call anybody out.
Yeah, I did wear
We'll do it off the air.
I did. Okay, exactly. So here is how I slowly am getting into wearing my survivor buffs for like stuff like mowing the lawn and stuff because it does a really good job of keeping sweat out of your eyes. Right?
Yeah, it does.
I got the one that I think is the ugliest, and I started using it. It's going to take a long time for me to use a purple or an orange one because those things are just sharp looking.
Yeah.
See, I use mine when we do Survivor for the youth at church. All the adult volunteers get a buff. And
that's nice.
So they're the ones that know what's going on, and half of them want to keep them. So I have
too bad. All right, Kelley, I know it's 2 hours, so you don't have to tell me this if you don't want to, but I'm very interested in why you like the show. Is it called 40? Well, what's it called?
The First 48.
The First 48. Yeah, tell me about that show, if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it is in a way kind of depressing, but I like it because I like things like this. Basically, it's 1 hour episodes on A&E, and it follows detectives in a certain city, homicide detectives. Uh-huh. So it could be Memphis, it could be Atlanta, so wherever they're going.
Different city every week. Okay.
It's a 1 hour episode, and they follow the detectives as they try to solve a homicide.
Within 48 hours.
And if they say it's called the First 48 because the 48 hours are the most crucial for them to find evidence and, witnesses, all that sort of thing. So if it's outside of the 48-hour window, it gets like harder and harder. And some of them go on for like months, and it just shows like, 6 months go by, and then it shows something else happening.
So it doesn't
show. It usually happens, but it is within the episode. Everything always is resolved, whether they can't find the person, they can't find the killer, or like 90% of the time they find out who did it.
Okay. So
yeah.
So it's not they're only showing you the first 48 hours. It's the first 48 hours are the most important part, and so it is probably exciting to see what all they can get in those first 48 hours.
Yes, but my husband doesn't like to watch because he thinks it's very depressing. Because what ends up happening is then the people are arrested, and then it's like, well, then now you just have this person going to jail, and then someone's died.
Yeah, but they killed somebody. They deserve to go to jail.
I know, but a lot of times it's like teenagers, like just kids who are like, gang violence. It's really sounding very depressing, but I don't know why. Like I find just more fascinating, like putting all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
And like solving, like the solving part of it.
Well, then, did you watch the Making a Murderer on Netflix and some of those kind of shows?
Yes.
Okay. So, and have you watched
Mindhunter?
What's it called?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you watched
Mindhunters?
Mindhunter?
Mindhunters.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that based on real stuff? Mindhunters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
I tell you a show you would like. I started watching it. I've only watched like 2 episodes. Confession Tapes. I think it's on Netflix. It's how
I think I started that.
Yeah, how they got false confessions out of people. My goodness, if I ever get charged for something, I'm just going to have to sit in that room and not say a word for the 12 hours they grill me.
It is actually so terrifying. Like I always feel like the best thing to do is to just get a lawyer. Like don't say anything.
Yes, right away.
Because anything you say, they can use against you.
Yeah.
Like it's scary.
Yeah, they can and will use it against you in a court of law.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
The confession tapes. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, and it's scary. I don't care how guilty it makes me look. If you pick me up and you want to talk to me, I need a lawyer.
Exactly. Don't even say anything.
Yeah, because they manipulate. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
I know.
At least on this show, what they're showing, they're showing ones where it seems obvious that it was that way. But anyway.
Well, even on the Making a Murderer, there was the poor kid who was like 15 or whatever.
Yeah,
the nephew.
Clearly had no idea what was going on. Right. I mean, that was just wrong.
They ended up letting him go.
So wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's still in jail.
No, I thought they ended up letting him go. Are you sure?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
They might have by now.
That's what I heard. But then
either way,
one of my sons knows somebody that lives in that area though, and they're like, I don't care what that show says. That guy's guilty. So
I mean, you never know. Like that's the thing is, I guess on some of those unsolved mysteries, unsolved murders, you don't know.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, that's very interesting. So you like very realistic. Well, you like real crime stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna cut the live feed. So thank you everybody for listening. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week with Cass McQuillan.
Ooh, that should be fun.
I know.
See ya.